Hello, this is Inside the Press Box with Sunil Sunder Raj for the Everyday Fan Sports. I'm happy to be speaking this morning with DiCenzo, the head coach of the Wesleyan University Cardinals football team. Coach DiCenzo, thank you so much for, again, taking some time out to speak with me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. Love to talk football anytime. And this great state, New Jersey, has been really good to our program. And we've got some great players from there. So happy to talk football.
Thanks, Coach DiCenzo. As said, the regular season opener is, fast approaching here. I believe September 18th at Colby. Can you talk about, getting back, things to normal here? I know it's been difficult with the COVID-19 pandemic, but just wanted to ask you how, training camp, especially here during the summer, has been going, with this year's team.
Yeah, our guys came back in great shape and came back ready to compete. We've had a good 2 weeks of the preseason. We open in 2 weeks from now. We've returned a lot of guys from our 2019 team that were all league players. I think we returned 7 or 8 all league guys. In 2019, we were 8-1 in the league and finished in second place. So we've got high expectations for our program every year. Our guys have high expectations, and it's not going to be easy going on the road up to Maine for the first game and a team that's been preparing for you for 2 years. But we're excited for the challenge. And again, our guys have done everything we've asked for them. And again, they came back ready to compete. They came back in great shape, and it's just a fun group to coach.
That's great. Just wanted to ask you, Coach, about the schedule. After Colby said the home opener versus Hamilton, I guess you can start that off. I mean, every year is special. I mean, I know last year it got shelled, but can you talk about, since you've been there for 12 years, 7th year, I think is your head coach at Wesleyan University, but a home opener, nothing better than that, Coach.
Yep. So we've actually been top 5 in attendance for Division III every year. So we draw really well. Our stadium's in the middle of campus. So I think, it's a great atmosphere for people that want to be a part of the football community and just a part of the game experience. But we've got great support from our alumni, from our fans, from our students. And it's just a really cool atmosphere to watch college football game. And we've played a lot of teams in our league in the NESCAC for over 100 years. There's great tradition. And we hear from alumni all the time. And they're really excited about what we're doing, and they're trying to help out with every facet of the program. And I'm very, very fortunate for that. And I've been here since 2010, and this is definitely home for me. And it's great to be in a place that wants to see their kids do great things on the football field, great things in the classroom, and great things in the community. So we definitely have a really good situation. As far as the home opener goes, we're definitely taking it one day at a time right now. And our focus is Colby on the road, but every week in our league to win the league, you gotta, we were 8-1 in 2019 and we were second. So there's not much room for error. And there are definitely 6 or 7 really top teams. So it's exciting and all of them count the same, but we're definitely excited for the opener. Then being back at home will be a lot of fun for our guys to play in the home field again.
Hey, I wanted to ask you about the New England, small college athletic conference. Said the competition, over the years. You talked about. I mean, it's definitely there are several elite teams in this league. Can you talk about it over the years, and especially this year? Who you see up there, at the top of the conference, Coach DiCenzo.
Yeah, it's an awesome conference, and it's definitely an academic-based conference similar to the Ivy League. And right now, I think the other day we were ranked number 2 by Forbes and number 6 by Washington Monthly. So we're one of the best schools in the country and attracting kids from all over the country. And that's pretty the unique thing about it. So I've got guys from over 20 states on my team. Yeah. New Jersey is definitely one of our top states, and it always has been. And it's just been a really good fit for us. Yeah. But you're meeting kids. What makes football awesome is you get guys from every background, every race, every religion, every socioeconomic background. And that's the real world. And we represent that really well here at Wesleyan. And, it's definitely just a league with a lot of pride and tradition and makes for great football on the weekends. But the league is highly competitive. And, here at Wesleyan, we've got high expectations for what we want to do. And we definitely think we have a chance to win the league every year. It's not going to be easy, but those are definitely our goals.
I was counting on the roster, Coach DiCenzo. I think you have 33 upperclassmen. I mean, it's, as you said, the experience factor is there. So, I mean, this team is talk about being built for the 2021 season to contend for another championship. It's right here, Coach DiCenzo.
Yeah, I'm a defensive head coach, and we have 2 all-league quarterbacks. And if you have Tom Brady, you're just playing Tom Brady. We want to put as much stress on defense as we can. And Ashton Scott is a quarterback for us from Brockport, New York. He threw 17 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, 19. He's athletic and can run. And then we have David Estevez, and he's from Riverdale in New Jersey. Yeah. Just had an outstanding high school career, played at MetLife for a state championship a couple of years, and just was one of the best players in North Jersey. And David, when we recruited him, we said, hey, this is how we're going to use you. And I think, we've backed up our word on that. And our Williams game, which we won on homecoming in overtime and, in front of about 10 or 12,000 people, he returned a kickoff 94 yards for a touchdown. He threw another touchdown, 55 yards. He rushed one in as a tailback for 1 yard at the end of regulation. In the first play in overtime as a quarterback, he ran one in for 25 yards. So kind of scored 4 different ways for us. And, he's very multiple, and you're going to see sets with him and Ashton on the field at the same time. And again, we want to get the ball in our best players' hands. That's what we're trying to do, and just create that stress on defenses that makes it really tough to defend.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, I was just looking at some of the players, some of your team captains. You talked about Ashton, wide receiver Matt Simcoe is going to be a captain, Isaiah Miller, linebacker, offensive lineman Bryce Jenkins. Also your defensive back, said Danny Banks, and then your defensive lineman Jackson Ime, and then also offensive lineman Justin Johnson being a nominee for the Campbell Trophy. So we just want to touch on some of those players, just describe just what they've meant to the program here.
So Justin Johnson's will be a 3-year starter for us on the O-line. The Campbell Trophy is a really unique award. It's by the Football Foundation. Going to be an outstanding student, a great member of the community, and a great football player. Justin's been a 3-year starter for us. He's got over a 3.6 GPA. He's from Rumson Fairhaven in New Jersey, a really strong program down there. And he's going to graduate for us. And one of the positives with some of these kids with a COVID year is his goal is to play Division I next year. So, we've got a few kids in our program that are really elite, and they're going to finish with a Wesleyan degree and graduate on time, then kind of use that extra graduate year. And they only count against 1 year for the Division I scholarships. And he's a kid that wants to do that, and we're heavily supportive of that. So, so he's been great. We returned Bryce Jenkins on the offensive line. He's from Plant High School in Tampa, and they play on ESPN a couple times every year in high school. And we get Bryce just because he's 6'1", he's 6 feet. He's not 6'3", 6'4". So he started for us as a freshman, and he'll be a 4-year guy for us, an all league guy. And then one of the other captains, Danny Banks. Danny's from Montclair High School in New Jersey, and they've had a great program. I actually watched him play live in MetLife his senior year. He was playing safety as a senior, and his junior year he played corner. Came in freshman year, we put him at corner, and man, he's been a great player for us. He's really dynamic. He can run. He's quick. He's really smart. He's a student of the game, and just brings great energy every day. So we're really excited about our captains. We do have 6 this year, and just with COVID, we had 2 fifth-year guys come back, and we didn't want to affect it, the junior class be affected by that. And our team votes, and how that vote goes is how we let it stand. And so I think with COVID for the next year or two, you're going to see some teams with some big numbers there, and then it should probably level back off. But those group, a great group of players, a great group of kids, and we definitely have very strong leadership from our senior class overall.
Yeah, I mean, as you alluded to, Coach, just about the recruiting. I mean, it's so impressive, the fact that not only from here, from New Jersey, the Garden State, but the fact in the Northeast, you're talking about New York, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Connecticut, but then you just branch out, to the South, to Virginia, to Georgia, Tennessee, I mean, out west, California and Arizona. I mean, it's so impressive. I mean, can you talk about that, having that broad scope, being able to recruit talent from all over, the 50 states here?
Yeah, I mean, one thing, we definitely work the Ivy League camps, and they bring in a lot of national players from all over. And then our staff with COVID, last summer in 2020, we ran one of the only camps in 12 states. We did all outside. We had 350 kids come through the 6 sessions. And I just thought back to when I was in high school. If I didn't get that opportunity, it affected the future of my life. I got into school. I was a very good student and a good player, and helped me get into college. And if I didn't have that summer to be seen by coaches and be recruited, it could have affected how my life turned out. So I wanted that opportunity for kids. And we started the Red and Black Clinic. And this past summer, we limited it to about 100 kids per session. We did 4 different sessions, and we had 7 of the 8 Ivy League schools at it, which is probably the only Division III school in the country to have, 7 Ivy League schools at it. And then probably over 50 college coaches at each of them. So you have 100 kids running around and 50 to 60 college coaches watching them. We're telling kids, hey, come here. You're going to get recruited. You're going to have time to talk to them. You're going to be evaluated. You're going to be able to compete. You're going to be able to learn football skills. It was a great situation for us to be able to run that. And we've been doing it for the last 2 years. And it's definitely a way for us to attract national players to it, and for us to see them that we can't always get out on the road during the season and see, or, see them with the distance. So we've been able to recruit nationally and get some great players in. We've definitely been big in Florida, Texas, California, but we've had an all-league D lineman and punter from Washington State. We've had an all-league offensive lineman and linebacker from Georgia. You're finding guys from all over the country.
It's great. I know your main focus, of course, here on the 2021 season, but how tough was it for you personally, Coach DiCenzo, in this, program, losing out on the 2020 season? I did
Yeah,
ask you about that.
there's really nothing you can put into words for it.
Yeah.
I just always think back to, these kids losing that opportunity.
Yeah.
And if it was me, I'd want adults making decisions that would give them every opportunity to play. And we're a smart country and we can figure this thing out. And there was a way for people to play last year in a healthy manner. So, and as you saw, it happen all over the country, and it's happening now. And again, if you choose to not take that, if that's too much of a risk for you, then you don't have to. I think these kids deserve to be at theater performances and art performances and music and athletics. And, the generation of 15 to 25-year-olds did a great job of, they've done everything we've asked. At our school right now, our team's 100% vaccinated, our staff is. And, so we're excited for the opportunity to be able to play. And our kids have made a lot of the commitments that our school's asked to do. And we're definitely excited to play this year.
Yeah. Okay, Coach DiCenzo, I don't want to forget about your coaching staff, because they play such an essential role, in the success of our program. Let's start first with your offensive coordinator, said Eric Ludwig, also defensive coordinator and special teams coordinator and linebackers coach Matt Coyne. Let's start right, with those two guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm blessed overall. I tell people all the time, I'm proud to be the head football coach at Wesleyan. I don't have one foot in, one foot out. Hopefully we're going to keep winning a lot of games. Everyone's going to think I'm smarter than I am, but I've got great support from our school. Our president, President Roth, he wants, excellence in academics, athletics, extracurricular, all over the place. And that's just a great leader and someone that just wants to see anything that students are involved in. He wants to see it at the highest level. And he preaches that all the time to the faculty and staff here. And I just think that's a great message. So we're very fortunate that way. My athletic director, Mike Whalen, is a Wes alum of 83. He's been a great mentor to me. He's brought our athletic department, continues to rise each year, and you see sports in our program. We've got 30 varsity sports, and all of them continue to get stronger and stronger. And football has definitely been one of them. We've been 46-14 in our last 60 games, so we can definitely win. And my staff is outstanding. I'm very, very fortunate with that. I've got great men that are great role models for our players and are involved with our players and their families. And, I let them coach. They do a great job recruiting. And all those guys have a lot of inputs. I don't want guys that have the same opinion as me. It's okay if we disagree at times, and we're trying to figure it out and put our team in the best position, every day, every week when we're playing games. And just the staff overall, Eric Ludwig's our OC. He's outstanding. He was an All-American offensive lineman in college. Does a great job with our O-line and with the offense overall. And then Kyle Archer was at Brown University for 4 years and UMaine for 3. He runs our pass game. So two great guys on the offensive side. And then on the defensive side with Matt Coyne and Sean Stanley, we've got two really great coaches. Matt Coyne's our D coordinator. He played quarterback here. And when we brought Matt on, he's a guy I could trust. He's loyal and he's a great recruiter. He's an outstanding coach. And we weren't really going to tweak our defense too much, but we wanted kind of that offensive perspective of how a team might, attack our defense. And he's brought great value to our defensive staff. And with him being here, we've gotten better. And then Sean Stanley, Sean played in the Big Ten at Penn State, was started there as a DN. I think our D-line shows of how good they've been and how much he's done with our front. But we're aggressive. We've been up in the league with sacks and pressures and putting stress on the quarterback and the offense. But those kids love playing for him, and he's just done a great job there. So those 4 guys are my full-time staff. And again, we've been together for a while here. If they get a better opportunity for them and their family, I'll wish them the best. But I'm definitely fortunate where these guys are outstanding coaches. They don't need me to kind of lead them around. They know what they're doing, and we've got a great situation here.
That's terrific. I had to ask you, from your first season, as a head coach. I mean, those first 5 years were just outstanding. If we went 30-13, 5 consecutive winning season. I had to ask you for that first season, just what you learned at that point. Then to see the program keep on building up here, so moving up, just having that success here. Can you just talk about, from when you first came in, Coach DiCenzo?
Yep.
I had to ask you about that.
Yep. Coach Whalen and I came here in 2010, and we were at a team in the League Williams, and we'd been very successful there. And we just felt it was a great opportunity here at Wesleyan. And for my family and my situation here, it's been awesome. And for Coach, and it's been a lot of work for both of us to get the program where we needed to be. And it's a lot of work to stay where we are. But my first year taking over, we just came off 2 8-1 seasons. So when I took over, we had graduated like 19 of the 22 starters, and we knew that year was coming. So it was just a great class. And it was, Pat DeMace from Bergen Catholic was a 4-year starter for us in the O-line. Taylor Bishop from Bergen Catholic was a 3-year starter in the O-line. Donnie Cimino from Westwood, New Jersey was a 2-sport star in football and baseball. But we, talking about New Jersey, those teams were loaded with those kids. And that year, first year, we had good kids in the program, but we were definitely a little young. And then since then, we've been able to get stronger and stronger each year. But it's been a lot of fun. I love to compete. I love to be around our guys. I love to play in big games. We tell kids all the time, if you don't want to play in big games, then don't come here. If you don't want to go to class, get a great education, don't come here. It's not going to be the right fit. But right now, our kids are representing themselves and their families in the classroom, in the community, on our team the right way. And we're very, very proud of what we're doing. And it's a lot of work on their part. It's a lot of work on our staff's part. But, we feel Wesleyan's a school that really shows how you can do things at a really high level academically, a really high level athletically, and be successful in both.
Yeah. I mean, it's just unbelievable to see every year, Coach DiCenzo, how many players the development that land on that, it said all New England, small athletic, conference, team. I mean, that's got to make it really, said make you proud, said knowing, these guys, said the commitment they make, but also the coaching staff as well, it said, working with these players, 24/7, 365, and to see that, that hard work and dedication, pay off at the end of the season every year as well, Coach DiCenzo.
Yeah, I mean, recruiting is the lifeline of any program. And I learned from a lot of very strong mentors in my life that, if you can recruit really great kids that are bought in, that want to work, that love to play the game, that want to be a part of a great team and a family atmosphere, you're going to be in great shape. And that's something our staff is focused on. We're really trying to find the right kid. So it's made our staff look a lot smarter and made us look really good. But we've got outstanding young men in our program and guys that love to play and want to be a part of a program that wins and a program that's doing things the right way. And so we're very, very lucky with that. And we're going to continue to recruit guys, and we don't care what offers they have or what they've posted here or there. We're doing our own evaluations, and we feel good about the guys we're taking. You take David Estevez from Riverdale. Every Division I school in the program passed on him. Teams in our league were passing on him. We took him. We said, hey, we've seen you excel here. His coach, DJ Nymphus, does an outstanding job there. And a guy that shot us straight. And David's just been an outstanding player for us. And he's a guy that can make plays all over the field. And we definitely want to use him in all his strengths with that. So we're definitely trying to find guys like that love to play the game, love to compete, want to go to school, want to get an education and be in that type of atmosphere.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, before we came on the air, I said from Morridale, New Jersey, I got to see, it said David Estevez up close and personal playing for Riverdale High School. I mean, back-to-back state championships. They said there at MetLife Stadium. Yeah, I mean, you could see, said the type of leader he was, not only on the field but off the field. So I got to interview him, do a feature article on him. So yeah, definitely, said a top level, player. I had to go back to the 2019 season. I had to ask you, I said you won that Little 3 championship. I said second time in I think 4 years, third time in the last 7 years. But that was the road to the championship was not easy, Coach DiCenzo.
Not easy at all. I mean,
over time, it said, when it said a double OT over Amherst, and then beating Williams in another overtime. It said to win the championship. Can you just talk about that? Just what how special that was for you.
that was a really fun year, and that year we go up to Amherst, and it's a back and forth game the whole way. I think we're up 7, we're down 7, and both teams made some big plays, and we get a stop, we get the ball back at like the 50 with a couple minutes left. We drive it down and, we call a timeout with 2 seconds left to kick a field goal with a big aim tied, and we get it blocked. And, the game should have been over. We should have hit the field goal from 20 yards and been celebrating. And instead, the resiliency of our team to stay together, we go into overtime and the next field goal goes off the upright. Then they kick an extra field goal and it goes off the upright. So both were 40 plus yarders. And, then the next overtime, Danny Banks from Montclair High School in Jersey, he makes a pick on the first play. And then we kick a field goal and win it. So you got to beat our rival on their field on the road in double overtime. So just showed great resiliency from our kids. And we just had great leadership on that team. That team just stayed together. And, we talk about it all the time. You're going to see adversity, whether it's a play, whether it's a quarter, whether it's a game, whether it's a week. You're going to see it, and it's how you handle that together. And if you're the team that points fingers, you're going to struggle. If you're a team that owns it and everyone takes ownership in it, you're going to, good things are going to happen to you. But, one of our captains that year, Will Carney from Wayne Valley, he was a guy that, and we had a couple Wayne Valley guys. We had Joe Scancarella as well, who was a great player for us from Wayne Valley. But that captain group of Carney and Ben Thon, Ryan Shutta, those guys just did a great job of keeping the team together. And then the next week at home, we play Williams. We get the ball back with, I think, a minute 43. We're down 7. We haven't done much offensively the whole day. We've struggled. And we went, we had a kickoff return for one of our touchdowns and estimates to a 55-yarder. Those were our two scores before that. Outside of that, we might have like 70 yards. And we went, 91 yards in a minute 40 and scored. And I think it's just the team believing in what we're doing and how we practice and how we compete. And it was special, to tie it up in overtime. That year we were honoring our 1960s all-decade team at a dinner the night before. Then at the game, we had great alumni back. And there's a bunch of videos from that game of just people having a great time. And then for our guys to get it done in overtime was awesome. So I think it's the first time anyone's won the Little 3 championship with back-to-back overtime wins. And, for us, we end our season with Williams and Amherst, who are two of our main rivals, then Trinity, who's an in-state rival, about 25 minutes away. So again, we're very, very fortunate that we've got such, just a great schedule, a great location for our school, and just a bunch of built-in rivalries within the league.
It's wonderful. Just have a couple more. Can't take your time, Coach DiCenzo. You talked about the facilities. Said Corwin Stadium. You have to have the administration, athletic department backing as well. What you do, I was just talking with the director of athletics, Mike Whalen, and president, said Michael S. Roth. Also, like with strength and conditioning, I know it's important. Can you just talk about that as well? Again, that plays another critical role as well in the success of a football program.
Yep. So we have 4 strength coaches in our department, but Sean Stanley, our D-line coach, got his certificate 3 or 4 years ago, and he just, it just allows him now to run our whole program. So does a great job with our guys, takes a lot of ownership in it. One of our captains this year, Isaiah Miller, he's from Bristol, Connecticut. He's worked with Coach Stanley as a guy that's, into fitness and nutrition and wants to do that stuff when he's done with school. But Coach Stanley's done a great job with our program and pushes our guys hard in the spring, the summer, all the time. And, again, it shows our guys are in good shape and they came back ready to compete. So that's a huge part of any program. And again, our facilities here are as strong as there are in the league, and we're very fortunate with that. We don't think we're at any disadvantage or anything like that. We're the only team that still plays on grass. Because our stadium's in the middle of campus, and they're not just going to turf the middle of campus, but we do have a turf practice field that we practice on every day that we use in the fall, and lacrosse uses in the spring. But it's just a really unique environment to play in. I think it's great small college football where, when your stadium's in the middle of campus and the president's office off the 50-yard line, you see staff, you see faculty, you see community members, you see students. And I think there's people there that love football, and there's people that just want to be a part of the atmosphere. And it's an awesome thing that brings the community together and the school together. And our players, they're involved with a lot of different things on campus, and we support that. We want them to, take advantage of their education. They're here for 4 years, and we want them to enjoy it and be a part of that. But, support from the school overall for everything the students are involved in is at a really high level here at Wesleyan.
It's great. I was just curious, before you became head coach, you were five seasons associate head coach and defensive coordinator. I'm wondering, that was a great, springboard for you, take that next step, becoming the head coach of, Wesleyan University of the football team. Can you talk about that, Coach DiCenzo?
Yeah. Again, I've been very fortunate. I've had great mentors. I worked my first job was at Trinity College for Chuck Priore, who's now the head coach at Stony Brook. And Chuck was a great mentor and a guy that taught you how to do things the right way as a young coach. And then I worked for Phil Estes at Brown University, another guy, and a great defensive staff there. Just got to learn a lot of football. And I think as a young coach, you just want to always keep learning. You can't have an ego with it. You got to do whatever it takes to help the team be successful. And, that staff at Brown and Coach Estes, Coach Priore had a big impact. And then I played for Dick Farley, who's in the College Hall of Fame, when I played at Williams. And Coach Whalen was a mentor of mine as my head wrestling coach in college and one of our football coaches, and then worked with Mike and then came over here with him. So been fortunate to have great mentors, and I was, excited for the opportunity to take over as head coach and knew I was ready for it. I'd been a head college wrestling coach and had a lot of success before, but there's something special about football. And, again, I think, surround yourself with a great staff and being a school that's supportive of everything the students are doing, I think are real positives. So, and again, I just, in this profession, there's a lot of great things about the profession. There's a lot of bad things about it. You see guys get fired all the time, and those are families that are moving and changing their life. I know I get a great situation here at Wesleyan, and it's a place I want to be for a long time.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my remaining questions for you. What makes the game of football so special, not only to coach, but when you played as well?
Yeah, it's just awesome. Again, we talk about all the time, you get 11 guys working together. Yeah. If one isn't doing their job, it can be 7 points one way or the other. And there's no other sport like that is that intense with it. It takes us weeks to get ready for a game, where other teams are practicing for 2 days and they're scrimmaging. We couldn't physically do that. So, And there's nothing, what you miss with COVID is just that competition. There's nothing about waking up on a game day and being involved with that and having those emotions run through you in a game. So it's just awesome. I'm very fortunate to do what I do. And again, what I love being at a place like this is you're coaching kids that want to do amazing things when they're done. They love to play football, but they want to get an education. They want to go on and do great things. And, it's awesome seeing. We've got guys that are coaching in the NFL or general manager of the NFL and coaching in college. And we've got guys that are working on Wall Street and guys that are writing books and guys that are doing 1,000 different guys that are doctors and lawyers and everything. So it's pretty wild what we see here with guys just going on and do amazing things. But that competition and being a part of game day and being part of a team, it's always something that's a huge part of my life. And I really try. My wife is wonderful. And we've got 3 boys under the age of 5. So I try to turn it off when you're home. But as coaches know, it's tough to turn it on and off. You're thinking about it all the time. So, that's football is just a special sport.
Yeah, you answered my next. I was going to ask you about support from family because, as you know, Coach, long hours. I said early in the morning, probably in the office, and you don't get home till late at night. It's not for the faint of heart. I said you really have to be again fully invested in this and committed to this profession. I said and to to see, how your longevity, how long you've been in this. I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah. I mean, we have our graduates all the time. Football is a big part of their life. And a lot of their friends are going to work in financial jobs or go to business school or law school or med school and do amazing things. And some of them want to coach. And I think it's because they had a great experience in high school and a great experience in college. And I almost try to talk them out of it. I'm like, hey, this is what it takes. And I'm going to give you the straight and this is it. But if you can, if you're smart, you work hard and you are willing to do whatever it takes, you can be really successful. And we've got some great guys out there coaching right now. And, it's fun to follow their careers and watch them go and see them have great success. So, but it's definitely, it's a lot of hours, it's a lot of hard work. And sometimes, the rewards aren't always wins and losses. So it's definitely challenging at times. And, when you do something good or bad, it's kind of known. And, other people at their job, if they do good or bad, it might not be known as much. So, I remember when we first got here, we weren't that strong a team. Our kids worked really hard for us. They're great kids. They're excited about the change. But I told my parents, I was like, don't come to the game if you're not going to be okay with people yelling at us for doing a bad job. We're going to lose this game 50-0, and I you can't say anything back. You just got to deal with it. This is the situation where we're going to get better. We're going to be there. The kids, when we first got here, man, that class had great leaders and really cared about it. They want to be great. They just didn't have enough kids in each class. And we need to recruit more. And once we start bringing those guys in, those first few years, it wasn't like, hey, we're going to win later. We want to win now. But those guys helped, mold those younger guys we brought in that were really talented. And that's a big part of how our class turned around. We had great leaders in Nick Sierra, Joe Giamo, Justin Freris. That list goes on and on of those kids that, wish there were 20 kids like them in their class instead of 10 or 12, and that makes a difference when you get those extra 6 or 7 guys in each class that are really committed to football.
That's true. I'm so intrigued, since you not only played football, but also wrestled, and knowing that, playing multi-sports, really does help out, and especially with the game of football. I'm just wondering about that, Coach DiCenzo, especially having that wrestling background. I'm sure that, it does play something, type of role, like, when it comes to, football. Can you just talk about that?
I love recruiting kids that are playing multiple sports. Guys are doing multiple sports in high school. Sometimes you talk to parents, and my kids are young right now, so they're not at that age, but you see parents and the kids just playing one sport. And I think you're doing a kid a disservice when you're doing that. And I think coaches at high schools, where the high school coaches work together, whether that's football and lacrosse, football and baseball, football and wrestling, soccer and whatever it is, whether sports work together and get their athletes involved with a bunch of sports. I think you see those schools have the most success, and take Bergen Catholic in New Jersey. They're a great football program, but they're a great wrestling program too. And, he supports those guys wrestling all the time, and it makes for tough kids, but some of his best football guys have been wrestlers, and there's a lot of schools like that. So, I'm just a big believer in it. I did both at the college level. It's obviously, a tough thing to do at the college level with it, but we've got probably 15 guys that do 2 sports here. And, we're big with football, lacrosse, and football, baseball. And when they're in football, they're focusing on football. When they're in lacrosse or baseball, they're focusing there. And I love that my guys are competitive in that spring season and playing a lot. It makes them better football players. It makes them, just more well-rounded and like to compete and like to be in pressure type situations. And they're balancing their academics better. When they're in season, they're more focused. They're, again, our academics are good. Our team GPAs, over a 3.3. But in season, it's probably just a little higher than it is out of season. So I think they're more structured on a schedule with it. But multiple sports in high school, I think, is a huge advantage for kids. And again, you look even the NFL, these guys that have played multiple sports and done really well. So I think it's something that all kids should be doing.
Something popped into my head here, Coach DiCenzo. I haven't asked coaches this, especially on the college level, said during the season, preparation, every week, for a game, and then leading up to game day, like, just take, everyone behind the scenes, as far as that. And then on game day, just what that routine is. And then you're in the locker room getting ready, to take the field, just what that overall, said structure is. I just was very curious about that. Yeah.
When you finish a game on, say, if you play Saturday, your busiest days then are Sunday and Monday, getting everything ready, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, you might be tweaking things a little bit, but Sunday, Monday are your busiest days, towards the end of the week, the Friday and Saturday, like the work's done and now you got to go out and execute it.
Yeah.
And that's obviously the fun part of it like that, but there's nothing like waking up on a game day, whether it's Friday night, Saturday afternoon, it's just an awesome feeling. We want guys that want to be excited about that situation. But during the week, it's long hours on Sunday, Monday. I don't watch a lot of NFL football because I'm in the office for 10 hours on Sunday. So, and like every college coach is, there's nothing special to what I'm doing. Everyone's in there. So but when we finish our games, watch another college football, I love to do. But Sundays and Mondays, you're definitely really, really busy and it's long days. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you kind of taper down the practice you get towards the end of the week. And again, we're not going a ton of live during the week or anything like that. We're just, our kids know how to practice at a high level and practice fast without bringing guys to the ground. And we're trying to keep guys healthy and practice smart. But the beauty of college, you're coaching a lot of really good athletes that kind of know how to practice at that level.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering during the game, you say it's all about X's and O's. I'm wondering, like, just in that moment as a head coach, you've been able to experience this for a long time. What is that like for you during that moment? You're working with so many people, of course, with the coaching staff, with the players. Can you just describe that as well, Coach DiCenzo?
Yeah, it's fun when you're putting stuff together all week and then it's executed right on the weekend and the kids play great. And it's definitely a really rewarding feeling. As a defensive head coach, I'm, in practice, I'm rooting for both sides. If we're making plays on both sides, that's a good thing for Wesleyan football. During the week, I touch base with Coach Ludd and Coach Arch on what we're doing and making sure our best players are touching the ball, but those guys are running the show on the offensive side of the ball. I really stay out of it and let those guys coach. They're great coaches. They're great mentors, great men. And I just try to let them do their job. And but during the week, I want to make sure we're getting our best guys opportunities and we're seeing what they're doing in practice from going against them. Just that preparation during a week is a lot of fun. If you're a coach, you'd love that aspect of it, of watching film and seeing things that you think are going to work and things that aren't, and putting things together and trying to put your kids in the best position to be successful. That's fun, and that's you're learning everything all the time. And I think in any business, if you're not learning and adapting and trying to get better, you're going to get caught behind. And the game from when I played to 10 years later to 10 years ago from now, how much the game's changed, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's good to ask you about how the game has changed.
Awesome. And I just think there's some really bright minds out there. And listen, film's everywhere, so you can get things and copy it pretty easily. It's about with our staff, we're definitely teachers first. We're not yellers and screamers, and definitely trying to teach guys and trying to make them understand how what the concept is, and so they can play fast when they're out there on the field.
Yeah. I mean, it's just unbelievable now with the technology. You got, with the iPads and you got everything is, and then when it comes to recruiting, you have all the video, set out there now available, sit on the computer online now with Huddle. And there are a number of sites. It just really is. It's a game changer, I'm sure, for you and the rest of the coaching staff, because you still love, of course, traveling, said to schools, and to games, but, being able to view that now on the computer, I'm sure it makes your job so much easier, Coach DiCenzo.
Yeah. 20 years ago, kids were sending you VHS tapes. and 10 years ago, they were sending you DVDs.
Yeah.
And now a kid send you a link from his game 10 minutes afterwards. So it definitely makes the evaluation process easier and us doing it. And for the guys out there, our staff, we try to start getting back on recruiting Thursday and Friday when we're kind of done with game planning. But for high school guys, we know they're busy during the season. Their focus should be their high school team, and we want them to focus on their high school team. And then, what I suggest to recruits is, whether it's Wesleyan or another school, is try to do a visit during the fall of, whether it's, if you play Friday and come up Saturday, to the one or two schools that are your top schools, but don't waste the weekend and go to a school if that school is not really interested in you. I know some schools it will invite thousands of kids to their games, and they'll show up and you're one of 60 kids there. It's like, well, you're one of 60 kids that you probably, they're just inviting, they have 5 home games. There's 300 kids coming through. Yeah. Where we really just try to invite up guys that we're really, kind of top guys on our board and guys that we're interested in, because we don't want to waste their time. And they're very busy. They're trying to get great academics in high school and play competitive football. And then, it's time with them and their families. So I think for those guys, if you don't hear from a coach all the time in the week, is understand like towards the end of the week, they're probably recruiting. I'm trying to make calls, 4 nights a week to our top guys as our season gets going here and their seasons get going. But it's definitely, a busy time for high school players, coaches, and college coaches and players. Yeah.
One of my final 2 questions is that with that Cardinals, jersey, that helmet, what do you want that to represent, as far as the players and just the program overall? I just had to ask you that.
Yeah,
Coach.
I mean, we want it to represent excellence. It's excellence on the field, off the field. And we talk about all the time, guys. You want to represent yourself, your family, the school, this program the right way. And you want to treat people like you'd want people to treat your family. When you are in the classroom, we want you to show the same respect to a professor as you would show your parents or a coach, and vice versa. When our guys are interacting with our students on campus, being respectful of them as you would want people interacting with your brothers or your sisters. And, that's what we're trying to do. And we're trying to do a lot of things in our community. We're part of Middletown here. It's 55,000 people. It's a vibrant community. And we've tried to do a lot of things in our community to be a part of it. So, and I tell the guys all the time, we're fortunate. We get to do this. We don't have to do this. We get to do this. We get to be football players. And we're fortunate to do it. It's a great sport, and you're lucky when you're an athlete. You're definitely lucky and fortunate to be someone that gets to be a part of a team and get that experience that other people don't get. So then to be able to give back to a great community that's supportive of us, that's a great feeling. But I want the W in the Cardinal at Wesleyan here to stand for excellence, and I think that message is from our president all the way down, that he wants excellence in everything the faculty, the students are involved in, and I think here we're really trying to do it at a high level, and we've got some faculty that are very, very supportive of us because they know our students are doing a great job. Some of our, our best players have been our best students. 2 years ago, the school recognized 16 students early for Phi Beta Kappa, and 2 were starters on the football team. So of the whole school. So I take a lot of pride in that, and those guys, both of them were starters for us. One was a captain, Evan Hull was from Westwood High School, New Jersey. So, he's Phi Beta Kappa 2 years ago. He's one of our captains. So those are special things. And again, we talk to kids all the time about that. If you do not want to go to class, you do not want to get an education, you do not want to compete in football, this isn't going to be the right fit for you. And that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't have to be the right fit for everyone with that. We're going to try to find guys that it is the right fit for. So, but that Cardinal should represent excellence. And I feel our kids do a great job and there's roadblocks along the way, but our kids just do a great job of representing themselves the right way.
Terrific. And final question, Coach DiCenzo. Again, I think you're in a great position to answer this and offer this advice. So, what is your message to not only younger kids, athletes, and then as far as people want to break into the coaching ranks as well?
Yeah, I think for high school kids, it's just go have fun and compete, be as active as you can, play as many sports as you can, be coachable. These guys, they're not getting paid a ton of money. These high school coaches are getting paid because they're out there coaching because they love it. They want to make guys better and help them with everything in their life, make them better, friends, better husbands, better fathers down the road. And I think that's what sports does for people. It teaches all those great qualities, and it's not just lip service. That's the real world. Athletics has impacted my life in so many ways. So I think for those guys is get involved, and there's a school for everybody. There's an opportunity for everybody to play in, and the better you do in the classroom and the harder you work in the classroom, the more opportunities you're going to have. It's as simple as that. And again, if you start off slow in your high school career academically, there's time to recover, and schools want to see people that are trending upwards and doing better as it goes on. So, but there's schools out there, there's financial aid and scholarships and stuff out there for people, but you got to work hard in the class and on the field. And then just for young coaches, I would just try to say, you come, usually when you get into coaching, you were probably a pretty good player. And I think it's humbling to go from, hey, things were kind of done for me as a player, to now, hey, I got to set up a drill, or I got to clean this up, or I got to do this. I'm the head football coach. I'm setting up breakfast and cleaning up breakfast and picking this up and cleaning this up. Like, that's all part of it, and that's, you got to be willing to do whatever it takes to make the business, the program, whatever you're a part of, better. And I tell our guys all the time when they go in the business world, don't work for 6 months and expect to be the president. Work for 6 months and make that business know that you're a valuable member of this operation. And again, when you're working really, really hard, doing a great job, you're about the time when you're like, all right, I hate this. I got to move on. That's about the time you get promoted because they see all the hard work and what you're doing. So, but I think there is no substitute for hard work, wanting to learn, and wanting to be a great member of that business or that community, whatever it is.
Sounds good. Okay, Coach DiCenzo, you have the last word. If there's anything I have left out, you're more than happy to add here.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate having me on. I know you do great work in New Jersey, and New Jersey's been a great state for us recruiting wise. We're going to continue to recruit hard, and those coaches have been really supportive of our program. So the list goes on and on of all the schools we've had here represented from New Jersey at Wesleyan, and we hope to continue that. But just keep doing a great job in New Jersey, so we can keep we follow you and keep getting that information. So we appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Coach DiCenzo. Hey, thank you so much again, for the opportunity to interview you. Wishing you, the rest of the coaching staff, and the players, all the best, here in the 2021 regular season.
Yeah. All right. Have a great day. I appreciate it.